students, I am Sophia, your science teacher. Today we are going to learn a lesson air, winds and cyclones. So let us have a small discussion and you will understand what is air and how it is useful in our day-to-day life. Air is also an important natural resource like water and soil, because without air we cannot survive. We have discussed in the lesson respiration in organisms how air will be helpful in our survival. If there is no air, we feel suffocated and it may lead to death also. So not only in survival of our body to perform different day-to-day activities are for the changes in the seasons and for causing of rain, for different types of things like this, air is important. So let me give you a simple example and let us find out how air is important for us and how it is easy and hard to do to move in the direction of the air. For example, you are riding a bicycle. Okay, let me draw it. I won't draw the cycle and just show the directions. So you are going on the path. Okay, this is the road. From A point to B point, you have to move. You are moving in this direction. So the direction of wind is also here only. So it will be very easy for you to ride the bicycle in this direction because you are going in the direction of the wind. For example, if the direction of wind is this side and you want to move from point A to point B. So what will happen as you are moving against the direction of the wind, it will be very difficult for you to ride a bicycle. And even though if you are riding it, you will feel more tired because you are moving in the opposite direction of the wind. You are moving this way, wind is coming in this direction. So that means the direction of wind is important. And not only that, many times you will observe that when we carry an umbrella, okay, you are carrying an umbrella. So as the air is during some rainy season, what happens? Air will be blowing, a lot air will be blowing, and if your umbrella if you are moving in the opposite direction of the wind, umbrella will be getting converted, okay, it will just turn away, all the cloth of the umbrella will turn away and your dress and you will be flying, you will feel like you are flying, that is in the direction of the wind. That means the air which is present around us is actually still, it does not move, it is always moving in many directions, but it does not make things move in that violent way. Okay, the air is moving from this side to this side, from up to down, from everywhere we can see the air is moving. It has many directions, but when air acquires some pressure, it will become wind and it is moving. That moving air is called as wind. So when moving air is called as wind. So the direction of wind is important. So if you are moving in the direction of the wind, it is easy for you. But if you are moving in the opposite direction of the wind, then it is difficult for you to move. Okay, so as I said, air is important. Let us find out how air is important, how air rises up and how it is useful in cyclones and winds. So air is what? Moving air is called as wind. So air is important natural resource. It is present around us. It is moving, but we can't feel it. Sorry. We can't see it, but we can feel it. We can feel the air, but we can't touch, or we can't hold the air. We cannot see the air, but we can feel the air. So when air is moving with higher speed, then it will change. It is called as wind. So air, wind. How air and wind are the things which are helpful in cyclones that we are going to learn in this lesson. Air, winds and cyclones. So first of all, let us understand where air is present. As I said, air is present everywhere, but is it present in the empty bottle or empty things also? Let us find out. So to do that activity, we have to take one bucket full of water. Take bucket of water, a tub of water, okay, and take one transparent glass. Turn it upside down. For example, if it is the mouth of it and bottom of it, I am doing upside down. It means I am inverting the glass. Now I have inverted the glass and I am going to push this glass into the water. Here this tub is filled with water. I am trying to push this glass into the tub full of water. What you observe, do you think when you are pushing it? Okay, straight you have to push. If you are pushing it, if you are trying to push it, do you think the water will enter into this glass? No, water will not enter into this glass. Even though you are applying more efforts, then also this water will not enter into the glass. And what you do, just tilt the glass. Tilt means that like this. Make the glass cross. Okay, little bit you tilt the glass. When you tilt the glass, you will observe that here air bubbles will be forming and the water will be entering into the glass. So in two situations you can observe here, when we are trying to immerse the glass straight, we are unable to immerse it. Why? Because, and when we are when in second case, when we are tilting the glass, what happens here? Air bubbles we can see and water is entering easily into it. Why? What is the change here? Changes is in the air. So the glass which is looking empty, actually it is not empty, it is filled with air. It has air. So air does not allow any other object to come inside. Till it is present inside, nothing can come inside. So in second case, what we have done, we have tilted the glass. As we tilted the glass, the air present here is coming out. And as the air is coming out, air bubbles we can see. And as it is coming out, now actually the glass has become empty without any air. So the water can enter into the glass. So this is first example. In the same way I am going to take second example. I think it will be easy to understand what I am trying to explain. In the second example, you have to take a bucket of water. Okay, and take one 1 liter water bottle and keep in it. Okay, straight only you are going to put. You are not going to immerse it. Like this, you are trying to fill this water bottle with water. You are taking it empty. Okay, it is not filled. Bucket is filled with water, but the water bottle is empty. When you are trying to put like this, do you think easily the water will be entering into this? No, it will take much time. And here we will observe that when we are inserting this water bottle completely into the water, when you are inserting this bottle completely into the water, first of all you will observe that air bubbles will be coming out of this water bottle. You can find air bubbles here. As the air bubbles have came out, this water is able to go into the water bottle. That is because when we are inserting here, this air is present, that's why water cannot enter here. But when we are inserting or immersing it with lot of force, the air which is present here is coming out, and as a result water is filling in this water bottle. That means here also the bottle has looked empty, but it was not empty, but it was filled with air. So that means we cannot see the air, but air is present every side. The objects which look empty are not actually empty, they are filled with air. So by these two activities we can conclude that air occupies space. Right? Air occupies space. Once if the air is removed, then only other thing can enter into its place. So this is how we can say first property of air is air occupies space. In the same way, you have to do one activity, like take one dropper. Like a dropper is used in our laboratory, and not only that, you can see for small infants, doctors will prescribe them medicines, syrup. So how the infants, they can't drink like us with the spoon or something. So they will be giving dropper, completely small infants. What we have to do, we have to drop the syrup into their mouth with the help of a dropper. So you use same dropper. How we can use the dropper? Actually, how we have to use the dropper? Just simply by pressing, you'll get the syrup in that? No. First of all, you have to see the head of the dropper, which has rubber. Okay, rubber head is present here. First, in the open place, you have to press it. So what happens? The air which is present inside the tube will be removed. In this next, you have to take that syrup, okay, syrup bottle, and insert this dropper into that. Again, you have to hold the rubber head. When you hold, what will happen? The syrup which is present in the bowl will be entering into that dropper, and again you have to take that dropper towards the baby mouth, and you have to press the rubber head. So what happens? The syrup which was filled in that tube will be entering into the mouth of the toddler. That means here, why we have done all this procedure? That is because that rubber dropper also has air in it. In first case, we have removed the air, and in second one, as we have removed the air, we have applied pressure, so that So the liquid which is present, that will enter. Later on we have used again pressure. So what happens? The liquid which is present in the dropper will be entering into the mouth of toddler. That means here also air is present in that dropper. Next property, does air exerts pressure? Air has some pressure. How can we understand that air has some pressure? So to know that, we have to take one balloon, fill air in the balloon. As you are filling the air into the balloon, the walls of the balloon will become rigid, okay, hard. So up to certain end you will fill it, then you will be tying the mouth of the balloon. And if you are going on filling the air, if you are filling excessive air, then what happens? The walls of the balloon will burst. Okay, the balloon will burst and the walls of the balloons are completely will find hole and complete burst of balloon will take place. That means excess of air. If you are putting into it, then it is applying some pressure. In the same way, the tubes of the tires are also filled with air. If excess of air is entered, then air cannot already some amount of air had entered. This should be entered. But if you are adding excess, what will happen? It will be bursting out. If you take water, if you want to fill the glass of water, you will be adding water. After it is completely filled, excess water will be flowing out of the glass. For example, I want to fill this. So I am going on adding the water up to here, water had filled. After that, what will happen? Water will be flowing out of the glass. We can see it. In the same way, if we are filling the balloon, what will happen? Up to some extent, the air will be filled. After that, there will be high pressure on the walls of the balloon, and as a result, balloon will burst. That means here air exerts pressure. In the same way, you can do same activity, use a syringe. Syringe, without needle you have to use a syringe, and you see the plunger or the piston of the syringe. First of all, okay, take piston. You have to pull the piston. Okay, pull the piston and put your index finger near the nozzle of the syringe. Nozzle will be present here. There you have to put. Now, here try to pull the piston. Okay, try to pull the piston. Do you think it is easy to pull the piston? First we have pushed, it was easy. After pushing, what we are doing? We are putting the index finger near the nozzle. Now you try to pull the piston. What you will observe? Do you think it is easy to pull the piston? No, push the piston? No, it is not easy. That is because the thing which amount which you are seeing that is empty, but actually it is not empty, it is filled with air. So when you are putting your index finger near the nozzle, air cannot go out. And as the air is not going out, piston is not moving forward. So if you want to make piston move, then you have to remove your finger. When you remove the finger, the air which is present here will be going away through the nozzle and the piston can come to its original position. That means when you are doing like this, you can feel some pressure on your finger. When you are pushing the piston towards this end, you will observe some pressure. That pressure is of air. So by these activities, we can say that air exerts pressure. And because of this pressure, only cyclones will take place. How we will be discussing later on. The other property of the air is air expands on heating. Actually, we have learnt in the lesson heat and measurements. Okay, there we have discussed how matter will expand on heating and contract on cooling. Next activity is air expands on heating. You already know that matter expands on heating and contracts on cooling. We have seen in the lesson temperature measurement, okay, where we have used thermometers. So thermometers are based on the principle matters expand on heating, that are liquids. Matter can be of three types: solid, liquid and gaseous form. So air is also a gaseous form of matter. So air expands on heating. How to know that? A simple activity, very simple activity. To that you have to take a water bottle filled with hot air. You have to take the water bottle filled with hot air. Okay, it is hot air, and take one more water bottle with cold air. So first you take balloon, and you have to keep the balloon here without blowing the balloon. Just a balloon, piece of balloon you have to. Sorry, the entire balloon you have to keep, which is empty. Put it here and put it. You will observe that as it is hot water, hot steam will be coming out of this water. and because of this you'll see that balloon will be expanding. It will get the shape. In the same way for this second one, okay, for the second one we have, in the second bottle you have to take cold water. Take cold water and put this shaped balloon onto this. Already we have made a shape of the balloon and keep it on the second water bottle. You'll observe that the balloon will be losing its shape. That means because when the air is cool, the shape of the balloon will be lost. That means balloon will contract. Here, when air is hot, the air which is present in this water bottle is hot. So the air which the balloon is getting is also hot. So air is this balloon is expanding. That means air is helping in expansion. Our air is expanding when it is heated. So the air which is present here is cool. So because the balloon which was in shape has lost the shape. That is because air will contract on cooling. If not this, you can do one more activity. Take one injection bottle. Okay, and for example, this is the injection bottle. Okay, so I have to take a bottle and a refill. So how you can get the refill? Or you can use a straw. If not, you can use your ball pen refill. Remove the nib of it and use that refill. So in this you have to fix injection refill in the injection bottle and put a drop of water on this end of the refill and keep this apparatus like this. Now rub your hands against each other. When you rub, what will happen? In heat energy will be produced. Your hands will become warm. Your hands will become warm. Now carefully take this water, this injection bottle with water drop in your cupped hands. So if you put your cupped hands, what will happen here? Already your hands are warm. So when you take that water injection bottle into your hands, what will happen to this water drop? You have to observe. You'll observe that when you take this, the size of the water drop will increase. So why it has increased? That is because the warmth present in our hands will be entering into this bottle, and as a result the air present in the bottle will become warm, and as it is becoming warm, the size of this water drop is increasing. That is because air will expand on heating, and that can be seen on the size of the water drop. So this is how we can say air expands on heating. So students, your homework is to learn and write an activity to know air occupies space. So I have taken two examples like the inserting the glass into the bucket of water, tub of water, and that how air is occupying space that we have seen. And in the second one, we are inserting the bottle into the bucket of water, and we have seen how air bubbles are formed. So from this any one activity you can write and learn it properly, and go through the next activity, what it is that air exerts pressure and as well as air expands on heating. Learn these properties. Okay, I am not giving that writing work because those will become lengthy, but I am saying you to write one activity and learn all the other activities. Listen to the videos carefully and properly and do the worksheets properly. Thank you.